Hello, my little geeks and freaks. Welcome back to my book bowl challenge where I will go through a massive bowl of books and hopefully not lose my sanity in the process. If you guys, for whatever reason, didn't see my weight loss update, whether it's because you missed it or because you're not really interested in watching that part of my content, I'm sick. I am behind schedule on my reading. I am behind schedule on my things that I need to do in life, and I am sick. My kids are sick, and I'm just over it. So if I sound like shit, it's fitting. I feel like I'm sick twice a month at this point, at least. So this video was supposed to be posted last week and I did not even record it because I'm losing my shit. I am recording this on the same day I'm recording like 3 other videos. Now obviously it's the same day, but I am going to change my shirt because I'm classy like that and I want to look a little bit better than just my pajamas for my book challenges. But I'm still looking like shit, sounding like shit. I am shit at this point. Like, welcome. The book I'm reading today is the first book in a 2-part series. It is called The Favorite Girl by Arya. So the book follows a 19-year-old girl named Demi who she's had a rough life. She was born in India. She had a sister, and her parents sold her to these people because they needed money and only saw their kids as burdens. The person that bought them took them to America, Nashville, took them to Nashville. And they lived a pretty rough life. Demi escaped and she ended up in North Carolina. North Carolina, she's trying to look for a job. And she's staying under the radar so nobody finds her. She finds a job that seems way too good to be true, but she's desperate. And even though there's a lot of red flags, she still takes the job because she's desperate. She needs the money. She needs to survive. This is what she has to do. And how bad could it be? Honestly, it's bad. I mean, it's twisted. And she's trying to survive this very weird family and their very weird situation. She's scared, she's traumatized, she doesn't know how to react, doesn't know who to trust. And honestly, it's pretty dark, but it's also really dumb. I liked it, but like I also was annoyed by it. Anyway, that's what the book is about. It's her really going through this job that she doesn't know how to handle and she's terrified of and she's trying to survive, but there's really no way of escaping. So a little bit more details. There might be some spoilers. I'm trying to think on how. The problem is what I think wouldn't be a spoiler might be a spoiler because of the next book. I'm currently reading the next book right now, so I don't know how to. Just spoiler warning, just in case. Anyway, obviously her childhood was really traumatic. Her sister was always protecting her, and her sister protected her from not getting harmed by the person who owned them because she took all of the punishments. I think that's the best way I could word that. Because of what she went through, and she was finally able to escape with the help of her sister, who unfortunately could not make it out with her. She has a lot of mental health issues. She's depressed. She's seeing things. She has a lot of, I think what I would think she has survivor's guilt, but it doesn't explicitly say that. And she gets panic attacks. So she's going through it. She's starving. She's living on the streets. She occasionally gets to sleep in a motel with what little money she has. Doesn't explicitly say where she got that money from. I'm wondering if she stole it from the person that she ran from, but it never explicitly said, so I'm not sure. And she gets this ad on a newspaper that she's looking for a job working at the Ivory Estate. And it seems too good to be true. And like I said, it is. She would be a live-in housekeeper, which she thought was amazing. I mean, cleaning a house, she had to do that where she was living before, so she might as well do it, have a place to live and sleep, have access to food, and get paid. The thing is that it's very weird. They want Demi to wear all white. They want her to not wear certain makeup, no nail polish. They have a very particular aesthetic, and it leads me to wonder why they chose Demi. Demi is Indian. She has more of an olive tone, so she's not like dark, but she's not white. And they very clearly want white people. They've made that known. They want white skin, blonde hair, green eyes. That's what they want. It's weird. They have to wear special shoes that make no noise. They can't make a lot of noise. If you don't have green eyes, you're gonna wear contacts. If you don't have blonde hair, you're gonna get it dyed. They force you to have an IUD. All weird things that they want from somebody who's just meant to be a housekeeper. So yeah. What I don't understand is that in the beginning, she meets this woman who helps her get ready. And this woman, they also have these strange platform shoes that make no noise. The second I saw that they had it and the Ivory estate had it, I would have been a little suspicious, but she didn't seem to really think about it. And she meets Conrad. Conrad Ivory is the Ivory's son. Dr. and Mrs. Ivory's son, who is like heir to the estate. In the beginning, Conrad seems willing to go against his father to help Demi, and I don't understand that. And the more that time goes on, the less I understand it. He eventually becomes an absolute psycho, and it also becomes clear that he never actually wanted Demi. He wanted Demi's sister, which, yes, he did know about her and the sister. But yeah, there's definitely spoilers in this. It's very connected. Like, apparently her life was always set in motion from the second she was owned by Officer Trent. Yes, it was a cop who owned her. Officer Trent essentially acquired product for the Ivory family. The Ivory family had a book of product to invest in to make submissive brides for exclusive clientele, very rich clientele. Conrad chose Demi, well, Demi's sister, to be his favorite girl. But because Demi's sister did not escape with Demi, which was not planned, he chose Demi. The reason Conrad could not have Demi's sister is they have a very big thing about purity. You had to remain pure, which is why Demi was not allowed to be touched, because the sister was not pure. And that's why Conrad took Demi for the favorite girl. It was always meant for Demi to end up at the Ivory estate. Now, I don't understand why they gave her the IUD if she was meant to be with Conrad and have little Conrad babies. She literally got it implanted, and then like a week later they took it out and expected her to conceive. It was very weird, okay? A lot of things are very back and forth. I have noticed that Demi, she's told things but then seems to forget them and ask about it later. And I'm like, but this was already discussed. This was already explained to you, so you should know this. So I was very annoyed with her. Very annoyed with her. It gave me, in the very beginning, it gave me like, you guys know that movie Get Out? It gave me those kind of vibes. Just a little, maybe a little bit darker. She ends up getting close with Bradley, who is the butler. They end up falling in love. Bradley is not who he says he is. He's also very confusing because he has trauma with his sister being a caged girl, and yet he also is an Ivory and kind of agrees with the mindset that the Ivory family has. He agrees more with another part of the Ivory family, but it's very confusing, and I am definitely spoiling it, but there's really no way to describe this damn book without spoiling it. I don't like how, like, one page she's grateful for the opportunity, even though she knows how twisted this is, and the next page she's, like, resentful and angry. One page she's happy Conrad wants her, and the next she's, like, sickened by him. She's very flip-floppy, and it's really annoying. I don't tend to like that. She would say that she was kidnapped as a child, but it was very clear she was acquired as a child. And then the cage girls are essentially girls that are wanted by clientele, that are put through white light treatment to become submissive. It's torture, honestly. It's torture. And they have a very disgusting ceremony when they're finally ready to become the favorite girl. Disturbing. There's a lot of corruption. I mean, cops are in on this. High profile clientele are in this, and this is a doctor getting away with doing whatever the hell he wants. Demi finds out a lot of betrayal from Conrad, from Bradley, from her own sister. It's a lot for her to take in. I'm surprised she hasn't broken. But again, she's not really listening. Like, she's so stuck on certain things that she's not listening. She's told not to make noise, she's making noise. She's told to exercise, she doesn't exercise. She's told not to ask questions, she asks questions. Like, she never listens, and it's like, I'm surprised you're still alive, because apparently everybody else didn't get the same luxury as you. So it doesn't make sense why her. I get it, she's meant for Conrad, but come on. Like, it's a little annoying. I also don't understand why they had a whole ceremony with the one girl in the beginning who Demi was taking her role over. She was playing a harp. She was supposed to leave, and then she ended up unalived. Now, why I don't understand that is because they never did that for any other girl, never did that for Demi, but they said she was graduating, and she said she thought she would end up with Conrad, but she didn't. But Conrad was never meant to have her because he wanted Demi. It's all very convoluted, and it's never really explained, and that aggravates me. She finds out that essentially she was tricked into going to North Carolina by her sister, who fell in love with the officer who owned them. But then the officer ended up hurting her almost to death. And she asked Demi to unalive her. Demi thought that, you know, she hurt her sister, but honestly, her sister hurt her because she betrayed her by sending her to the people she was supposed to be owned by. It's very confusing, and it's also very dramatic, and I hope we learned a little bit more about that in the next book. It seems like everybody in her life just betrays her, and I think that messed me up about the book a lot. Like, there's never been a happy moment for this girl. Even the guy that she fell in love with betrays her. I don't think he betrays her to the same extent as everybody else did, but I mean, I get it. Also, Conrad's dad said that once Conrad takes her V card, because they need to have the V card taken in front of everybody, and there needs to be proof of said innocence being lost, that he could have Demi whenever he wants. What bothers me about that is that was never going to be possible, because there was a ritual for the parents after Conrad got married and took over the family business. So it didn't make sense that he said that, because that was never going to happen. Bradley is Dr. Ivory's son, and I can't tell if he is conditioned from years of living with these people that he doesn't know another way to think, or if he just thinks he's doing the right thing, but I don't get it. What I also don't get is Demi did something because she felt betrayed by Bradley, but it's like she ended up also being sad by what she did and missing him, and then deciding that she was going to embrace being the favorite girl. If you were going to embrace it, why'd you go through all this trouble? Like, I don't get it. It ended on a very weird note, and I think maybe her mind broke, but I don't know. I did spoil a lot. I really don't know how to give this book review without spoiling things, because everything's so back and forth. Nothing is as it seems, and it's very confusing. And I have to say, this book did leave me a little messed up for a few days after. I mean, I still think about it. It left me really messed up, mostly because the girl has had, like, not one break. Not one at all. Everything she thought she knew was a lie. Every person she ever trusted betrayed her. All the people who should have protected her hurt her. And she really doesn't know what to make of it anymore. I feel really bad about the ending, because I think she deserved better, but I also really thought she was dumb. She seems to have no sense of self-preservation. She does everything she shouldn't do. She keeps risking her life in ways she shouldn't, because again, does she really want to be unalived by doing the wrong thing? And I mean, after one too many times of getting hurt and threatened, you'd think she'd learn, but she never learns. She threatens, she yells, she insults, she does what she's not supposed to. Like, she's genuinely just pushing buttons she shouldn't. I get it. I wouldn't really know what I would do in that situation. Nobody really does until they're in it. But I feel like in order to survive a place that you're told you can't escape, that there's no way out, the best thing I would do is just keep my head down and try to figure out a way to survive through it rather than just busting out. So I did hate that about her. And I hated like the little plot holes and the 1 minute it's this, the next minute it's this, or how she would forget things. So that definitely did bother me a lot. It wasn't a terrible book. I think the plot was really good. I think it's a little too convoluted to believe, but again, I'm not trying to look at the believability of a book. I'm looking for me to be entertained. I was entertained. I was disturbed deeply by this book. And this is going to sound weird, but we listen and we don't judge. I like disturbing books. I like being disturbed. I mean, I went to school for criminal justice. I was originally in school for forensic science, but I had to switch schools and they didn't have that program. Not important, but disturbing things don't bother me in the sense that I'm like affected. I find them intriguing. I like to read what people come up with. I want to write my own books, and some of them might be on the more disturbing side. It is how it is. So don't come for me. I would say it was a good book in the sense of, again, I really felt emotions. I really, like, my heart was racing. I kept reading. I needed to know things. But I'm also really annoyed on the way it was executed in certain ways. And, like, again, the back and forth and the character's personality and how she just, everything goes out of the window. Like, the lights are on, but there's no one home. So that annoyed me, but not enough for me to hate the book. It's just enough for me to be a little bothered by the book. But yeah, I heard there is a third book coming out of it, which is going to bother me because I hate reading series that aren't finished, and I should have really put that into consideration when I started this book bowl. But here we are. At this rate, if there is a third book or any in the future books that have another book coming out, I will just read them when they come out and throw them into the book bowl. You know what I mean? I think the quote that I picked out that I liked the most in this book was, "Sometimes it's not the number of tears we shed that measure our pain. Sometimes it's the number of smiles we forge." Now, I like this quote because it really does make a lot of sense. I'm a very emotional person. I have cried plenty of tears, but I have also grown up in a way that I used to say, you know, smile. Even though you're not happy, smiling helps. Smiling makes everything better. In a way, you're kind of in a position where people might ask if you're okay, and people are always like, yeah, I'm fine, and they're smiling, and things are just not actually right. So this is a very true statement. A lot of people smile to hide a lot of things that they're masking. So I did like that quote. I felt a connection to that quote. I related to it. Favorite character-wise, I would say Bradley. Although Bradley is a very big conundrum for me, and I'm very confused and frustrated with the ending, it seemed like he was the only person who truly cared about Demi, and he always tried to look out for her. He would hug her. Him and her went through a lot of trauma together. So yeah, I liked Bradley a lot. And well, yeah, I liked him a lot. Anyway, overall, like I said, I told you guys how I felt about the book. I'm not crazy about it, but it wasn't bad either. Like, I liked it. I just didn't love it. I would recommend it, I think, because it is enough for me to say I enjoyed my time reading it. But I also feel like there are much better psychological thrillers that you could read that would be a better time for you. But again, like I said, I recommend it. I just also would say, you know, you might not love it. That's basically where I'm at. I hope I can get this out soon. I'm sorry about the delay and everything. I'm sorry that this is absolute trash. I know it is. I'm trash right now. Being sick and being behind schedule has me a little lost, and yeah, I gotta see what happens. I'm sorry to any spoilers. I am trying to do a whole new no spoiler thing, but I also feel like it is difficult in some cases to not spoil the book. I think there are things I would like to talk about. So could you guys let me know, would you prefer me to put spoilers or not? Or maybe sometimes to do it, but not all the time? Book reviews might be a lot easier if I could spoil them. But I also want you guys to read them. And if you guys read them, then like, would you guys not want to read it if it's spoiled? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. I am hoping that eventually, if I can get more of a following, especially from the book fans and nerds like me, I could do like a book review kind of live stream where we can actually talk about it, and it would be like all of the spoilers, like us just talking about a book where, you know, it could be the book I'm reading, it could be a book that you guys pick for us to read, a mixture of both. Like, I have been genuinely considering that. So maybe I won't do spoilers, and then I would save doing spoilers for something like that. I don't know. I'm very back and forth. Anyway, that is my little post video ramble. Sorry. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, comment your thoughts, or if you decide to read this book, or if you have read this book. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to be informed every time I post a new video. I appreciate the support, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye.